YouTube, Salivate Metal here, and welcome all as members of the Salivation Nation. And here in this report, we're going to be talking about the DPRK. That's right, they're making headlines with what was recently revealed and broken news here from the Washington Compost. Has posted a story about how North Korea has successfully produced a miniaturized nuclear warhead that can fit inside its missiles and crossing a key threshold on the path to becoming a full-fledged nuclear power. And U.S. intelligence officials have concluded in a confidential assessment. The news analysis completed last month by the Defense Intelligence Agency comes on the heels of another intelligence assessment that sharply raises the official estimate for the total number of bombs in the communist country's atomic arsenal. The U.S. calculated last month that up to 60 nuclear weapons are now controlled by North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, otherwise known as Alan Gold. Some independent experts believe that the number of bombs is much smaller, but even if it's half that, even if it's 30 or so, still very dangerous. Shoot, even one is very dangerous if it lands in the right area, which more than likely it will hit a populated area. And findings are likely to deepen concerns about an evolving North Korean military threat that appears to be advancing far more rapidly than many experts had predicted. U.S. officials last month concluded that Pyongyang is also outpacing expectations in its efforts to build an intercontinental ballistic missile capable of striking cities on the American mainland. President Trump, speaking at an event in his Bedminster, New Jersey golf course, said North Korea will face a devastating response if its threats continue. They will be met with fire and fury and, frankly, power. And those are, by the way, that's the language of North Koreans, talking about fire and fury. And so I think he's kind of bringing it home so that it has a most massive effect, the likes of which the world has never seen before. So it appears that Trump is growing tired of the constant defiance of North Korea. But the reason why I bring this up is obviously it's a major concern if this is in fact true. Coming from the Washington Post, one does have to wonder sometimes, but nonetheless, we are seeing the charts for the industrial average here closing for the first time in a couple of days here. Lower, 33 points lower, under concerns about North Korea. And now, it's not that much. Obviously, it's still over 22,000. And there's still some time. The sanctions have just been the most aggressive sanctions by all members of the Security Council, including Russia and China, are imposing very strong sanctions against the North Koreans, and including, I think, based off of a deal that Trump had placed with China to further isolate the nation. But the problem is well, what's going to happen? Will there be a Black Swan event that could occur? And of course, Black Swan essentially means that it's unpredictable. Some event happens that's unpredictable. Well, based off the intelligence that we see today, if North Korea launches another test, or it's going to ratchet it up, that's somewhat predictable. And if they continue to defy, well, then there will be war. And that is predictable, although the war itself may not be predictable. Mad Dog Mattis, the Secretary of Defense, has stated that if we do go to war with North Korea, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be long, it's going to be tough, and so that's going to be the unpredictable part. So what will happen with gold and silver prices? In the event of this Black Swan event of war, and wars typically are always Black Swan events because of the unpredictable nature, unless it's, Iraq in 1990, or even with the initial invasion of Iraq in 2003. But nonetheless, the metals and the markets and the precious metals are reacting today to this news. They're up slightly. All the metals are on this news, and I think that's directly related to the news on the DPRK. So what's going to happen in the future if there's a war? What will happen with the precious metals prices? Will they go up or down? And my guess is they will go up, but probably not as much as people think, unless there is massive devastation in Seoul or a major city like Tokyo or what have you. If for some reason missiles are launched against financial centers in Asia that the North Koreans can reach, then affect the precious metals to skyrocket. But if there is an attack and we end up taking out their missile sites and even some of their artillery pieces before they're able to launch, or there's a minimal effect, or it hits several residential neighborhoods, and we have thousands die as opposed to tens and hundreds of thousands of die, we will see certainly the uncertainty. We'll see the precious metals rise, but the fear is a devastating strike and counterstrike. And but nonetheless, we're all on the tip of our toes, and those of us who hold precious metals hold them for the purposes such as this. If the currencies in the financial markets are rocked either by war or sudden strikes and that kind of thing, and being where they are in near financial centers and proximity to financial centers and able to strike them with both either or nuclear or conventional weapons, it is a cause for concern in the financial markets, notwithstanding the obvious loss of life, which would be devastating and obviously is much more important. But nonetheless, it's going to be interesting to see how the next couple of days play out and how the next couple of weeks play out. I'm in the mind to hold on to the precious metals and not sell at this point, because we just don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, some people need to sell, but because of this obvious a crisis that has occurred, and basically we've seen the tables turn just today with the news of this intelligence that's been released on North Korea's capabilities and fast-moving capabilities. So post your thoughts below on this news, and we shall see what happens. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching. I'd like to encourage you to please rate, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell next to the subscribe button below the video there to make sure you're notified of the latest Salivate Metal videos and live feeds, although some people aren't getting the live feed notifications. Maybe it's going in their spam folder, maybe it's not. So you might just want to have just to check your subscription feeds and what have you for those interested. Definitely want to extend a multitude of gratitude to all my viewers and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.